if motivation was the only way that you could get fit and stay in shape, then nobody would probably achieve their health and fitness goals. And it isn't the fact that you lack motivation. It's the problem that you rely on it in the first place that is. In this video, I'm going to go over why motivation is never going to help you to achieve your goals, but how you can reframe your mindset to stay more consistent and finally push through and reach those goals you've set for yourself. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm a personal trainer and coach, and I help people to achieve their health and fitness goals. And one of the big ways that I've found to help people, that is something that a lot of people are missing in their journey towards their health and fitness goals and other areas of life, is developing their mindset. And one of the big breakthroughs I had with this is when I helped one of my clients lose over 20 kilos in weight towards her goals. So if you're relying on motivation, the biggest problem is motivation is never consistent. Motivation is that sense of excitement and that energy you have at the start of any new goal or, journey towards developing yourself or, reaching new heights. Because, you're excited for it. The problem is that motivation will always change, not necessarily fade or go away, but it will go up and down depending on how you feel. You can't rely on it. It won't be consistent, because if you're feeling tired, sick, stressed, hungry, fatigued, bored, your motivation is going to change with that. And they're the times that are hardest to do the work. But as we go through this video, I'm going to help you understand the best ways to overcome that and stay on the journey and stay with your goals. The big thing about motivation isn't that you want to disregard it completely. You just don't want to rely on it. When it gets hard, when it gets tough, most people before that happens are like, no, I'll do it. I'll stay motivated. I'll stay driven. Problem is, when you get to that point, it feels very different. And this is why you want to stop relying on motivation and start relying on structured systems and habits that you've created that you can fall back on to keep going and keep doing the work. The motivation you feel, even in periods throughout your journey, normally comes from the sense of reward you'll have at the end. And that comes from just the way the body works. Okay, it's that excitement. One of the easiest ways to explain it is that motivation to eat is going to keep you alive, so that your body then rewards you for doing that habit. In the same way as we've developed, as human beings, as a species, and in society, we've learned to reward ourselves for things that we know is going to help and improve ourselves and our lives, basically. And that all comes from that sense of feeling of reward at the end. And you're always going to feel that in the beginning, because you've got that sense of, if I go through this journey, I'm then going to achieve this. It's kind of like going to work. Nobody, or not many people I know, wake up going, I want to go and do my job. They get up and go because they're motivated to get paid. And they know the reward that's going to come from that, because they can then pay their bills, buy stuff, go on holidays and enjoy that moment. That's where the motivation comes from. But as you're going through the day, and if you are at work, that motivation tends to fade. You get tired, you get bored, you get frustrated. You're like, do I really want this job? Do I really want to stay here and do this for that reward? And I'm probably asked most people watching this video, and they probably have those moments where they go, no, do you know what? Generally, I don't want this. I'm going to go home. But that's where people give up on their goals, because quitting seems like a better option, because they haven't got that sense of motivation, because it's hard, because it's tough. And this is where you come into almost like the doom cycle of motivation. You start motivated, you start the journey, you've got this excitement, you've got this energy, and then you feel like you're going to give it your all. First couple of days, first couple of weeks, you're using that energy and everything's new and exciting, so you've still got a little bit more energy. After the first few times, first few days or weeks, you start to get a little bit bored, or life gets a bit stressful. There's no more excitement, and your motivation hits all-time rock bottom. You literally aren't motivated to keep doing the work you're supposed to do. So you give up, you quit. But then you get upset and you get, distressed because you're not now back at the beginning and you feel that same pain that started you in the first place. The lack of the rewards or the lack of achievement that you were supposed to get at the end of that goal. So you fire yourself back up again, going, no, I need to have this because I can't stay like this. So you motivate again. So you start, you do the work, it then gets hard again, motivation dips, and then you stop. And this cycle keeps repeating. Just ask yourself that question. Have you ever been there? Have you ever started a goal that you knew would benefit you if you achieved it, done the work, and got to the end, and you know you'd be in a better place? But you got halfway, you've felt unmotivated, you've given up. You then fall back into that point where you're upset because you're in the same position and you start again. This is a motivation doom cycle, and this is why relying on motivation never gets you to your goals. The opposite to motivation is creating systems and structure that I wouldn't say you rely on, but you fall back on when things get hard. And this is something I learned from my time in the army, and a lot of people kind of actually described it to me when they were asking how it went. And it is that sense of training where infantry training is hard, and they will literally, not quite literally, but they will beat and break you down to the point where you are the most stressed, hungry, tired, cold, the most unmotivated you're ever going to be. And instead of quitting, you have gone through your training so much that you don't think I need motivation. It's like, I know that I've repeated this so many times in my head and in practical, in exercises and in training, that I know what to do. And you can apply that same system to your own daily life. You don't have to break yourself down to rock bottom to the same way you would as an infantry soldier. But how you do it to achieve your goals in health, fitness, or generally in life is you need to build structure and systems to your life so that when things get hard, you don't look for the extra bit of motivation and energy to give you that boost to do more. You find the base level of your system and structures that's like, no, it may be raining outside, but every day I go for a run, so I'm going to go for a run. Or it may be stressful getting into work because there's traffic or you've missed a train or there's been some sort of hold up. But when you get into the office, you go through a routine that sets you up for the day and you're in a positive mood to get the work done. Or you're rushing home, and normally what would happen is you'd end up ordering a pizza or fast food because you haven't got time to cook. But actually, you've already meal prepped, you've gone through that system, and you know exactly what foods you're going to eat so you don't fall off your diet. This is how structure and systems help you keep moving towards achieving your goals, even when you feel at your worst, when you're the most stressed, when you're the most tired and hungry, when life throws you a curveball that you're not expecting. It keeps you on track because you then turn around to yourself, no, this is the system I follow, and these are the behaviors I've created, and I'm going to stick to them moving forwards. And that becomes what you would call your new baseline. Or, in other words, your new minimum standard. Your baseline or your standard is the bare minimum that you will accomplish that day. A great example is something like a step count. You might set to yourself, I'm going to get a bare minimum of 10,000 steps every day. You may be aiming for something 12, 13, or 14, whatever it is that you've set yourself. But on one of those days where you've not even hit 7,000 and you've literally, it's 9 o'clock in the evening and you're supposed to be going to bed, you're like, no, I'm going to at least get 10,000. I'm going to hit the bare minimum because I know that's the bare minimum that's going to keep me moving towards my goal. And the thing about systems and structures is they don't have to be overly complicated. They haven't got to be a massive amount of work. But the way you go about building them is picking a simple action, a simple habit that you can do, that you know you can complete every day or every week, that is achievable, and you repeat it as much as you can. You make it as easy as possible in the beginning because that's when it's the hardest. But after a couple of days, after a couple of weeks, you then start to reinforce that habit in the body, and then you turn it into a system. You don't have to plan anymore. It's in your head. You know exactly what you're going to do. And then that becomes the structure to your day, and it becomes your new baseline and your new standard. So if you want to stop relying on motivation and you want to start making real progress for long-term change, not just a quick whim and a quick new idea, start creating structure and systems to your daily routine. Just pick one thing. Take the goal you've got, think about the direction that you want to move towards and the person that you want to be, and just think, what would that person do every day, no matter what? And again, if you take something like your step count, for example, the best version of you might be doing 12,000 steps. But if right now you're only doing 4,000 or 5,000, don't go straight to 12. Do 7, do 8, do something that is still hard work, but it's something that you can realistically achieve for now. And what you'll find is once you hit that for 7, 10, 14 days straight, you can then add on to that, and then you can start building towards that higher level and that progress towards more and more achievement. And then all you have to do is set that as the bare minimum standard that you will commit to moving forwards. It might be for the next 6 weeks. It might be for the next 6 months. It might be for the rest of your life. It depends on what that goal is. But in the beginning, just pick one thing to commit to. Make it into a system. Write it down in clear, defined steps that if you gave it to someone else, they would 100% know what they have to do. It's the easiest way to explain to yourself, and it also means that you fully understand what you're trying to achieve yourself. Once you've got it written down as a system, apply it, take action, do it for at least the next 7 days, for the next week, and see how it works. If it works, great, move on, apply it, improve it, grow with it. If not, reflect on it and see what went wrong. But once you start to build those systems and structures, life actually becomes easy because you're not relying on motivation. You're not trying to stay excited. It is just simply who you are and what you do. And suddenly the progress and the achievements automatically start coming in because your life is now based around achieving those goals. And before you know it, your own identity starts to shift from being someone that's doesn't know what they're doing, or someone who, you know, never used to be able to do that in the first place. Okay, I'm too fat to exercise. I'm too unhealthy to eat clean. You break those limiting beliefs because you've now got a streak of 7 days of hitting your step count, of tracking your calories, avoiding alcohol or sugar, and you reinforce the confidence in yourself to achieve those goals and move forwards with each step. I hope that video helps, and I hope it explains that motivation is never going to help you to achieve your goals, but creating the systems and structure in your daily life that will. If you like that video and you found it helpful, if you like the video and subscribe to this channel, you'll see more of these videos come up when they get posted, so that you can apply it to your own life to achieve your own goals in your health and your fitness and the rest of your lifestyle by developing your mindset and improving who you are and work towards your own true north. Just remember, motivation fades. Systems and structure are there to stay.